But tonight, our top story. The snowballing controversy over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security breach in Punjab refuses to die down. The BJP has hit the streets and alleges a Congress conspiracy. This, as Punjab Chief Minister Singh Channi told India today, there was absolutely no danger to the Prime Minister's life during those 20 minutes when his convoy was stuck on the flyover, and the BJP was doing this with an eye on the elections. The farmer unions, who had been claiming victory meanwhile, have taken a U-turn on the issue. The big question, of course, is his national security being compromised because of domestic politics? That's going to be our top focus tonight. First, take a look at this report.
A day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security was breached in poll-bound Punjab, top BJP leaders pray for his safety and well-being. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath offered prayers at Baba Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi. While Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan held Mahamrityunjay Jap in Bhopal.
इस प्रकार की अनैतिक, असंवैधानिक और अलोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था को भारत कभी स्वीकार नहीं करेगा।
हम भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं और उनको धन्यवाद देते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी सुरक्षित है, वो दीर्घायु हो, लगातार देश का नेतृत्व करें, दुनिया को दिशा दिखाएं। और आज हम ये भी प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं पूरे मध्य प्रदेश में कि कांग्रेस की अध्यक्ष श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी और राहुल गांधी जी को सद्बुद्धि दें।
The BJP on Thursday turned up the heat many notches as it tries to pin blame on the Congress for the security lapse. Its youth wing held marches and its leaders came out to dragging Rahul Gandhi into the controversy, while Chief Minister Singh Channi rejected the charges.
लास्ट मोमेंट पे उतरकर प्रोग्राम बना के अब गाड़ी में जाएंगे। जब रास्ते में जा रहे थे तो लगभग 12 किलोमीटर आगे पता चला, 1 किलोमीटर जब रह गया था वो रास्ता के एकदम आकर कोई कुछ 5-10 बंदे सड़क पर आकर, चन्नी सर सुनो, 1 किलोमीटर पहले उनकी गाड़ियां रोक ली गई, वापस मोड़ दी गई। तो इसमें रक्षा का क्या प्रोग्राम आ गया? खतरा कहाँ है इसमें?
क्या इस बात का संकेत है कि कांग्रेस के अधिकारी जो पिछले 24 घंटे में जश्न मना रहे थे, वो भी सोनिया जी के आदेश अनुसार मना रहे थे? 24 घंटे चुप्पी कांग्रेस के सरगना की, ये किस बात का संकेत है? कि कांग्रेस के अधिकारियों ने जिस प्रकार से प्रधानमंत्री जी के सुरक्षा भंग होते देख उत्सव और आनंद का प्रतीक दिया है, क्या उसमें परिवार की सहमति थी? निश्चित रूप से।
From Delhi to Punjab, it was action-packed day of politics. Prime Minister Modi met President Ramnath Kovind to update him about the events in Punjab. This even as Congress President Sonia Gandhi rang up Punjab Chief Minister Singh Channi, asking him to ensure security of the Prime Minister. In Punjab, the farmer protester who blocked the PM's convoy first claimed credit for foiling Modi's visit.
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਕਿੱਲ ਕੱਢੇ ਸੀ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਵਿਛਾਤੀ। ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਨੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਮੋਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਭਜਾਦਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ। ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਵਿਛਾ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅੱਜ। ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀਰ ਦਮ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਲੜੇ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
And later took a U-turn.
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਸੀ ਜਿਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ?
ਐਸਐਸਪੀ ਫਿਰੋਜ਼ਪੁਰ ਸੀਗੇ।
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਆਖਿਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਐਸਐਸਪੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਛੋਟੀ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਹੋ ਗਈ। ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਲੱਫ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ। ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਾਈ 에ਅਰ ਆਊਗਾ, ਹੈਲੀਪੈਡ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ।
The Punjab government has set up a high-level committee to investigate the lapses. Now, with the Supreme Court likely to take up the matter on Friday, the fight is likely to get bigger. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise some of the big questions tonight. Is politics being played with Prime Minister's security? Was there a threat to the Prime Minister at all or not? Is the Congress playing down an issue of national security? These are some of the concerns that we will raise tonight. Pawan Khera of the Congress, its spokesperson, and Shehzad Poonawala, the BJP spokesperson, are joining me tonight. Appreciate both of you joining us. Pawan Khera, the Congress party will have to answer the central question. At the end of the day, this is being seen by all the police officers that one has spoken to as a lapse on the part of the state government's Punjab police. Surely, accountability must be fixed before we get into partisan politics. Would you concede that the Congress party's focus should be on fixing accountability rather than suggesting that all of this was stage managed by the Prime Minister and the BJP?
Rajdeep, let's differentiate between the Congress party and the Congress government in Punjab. So let's keep the Congress party out of it. The role of the government is very clear: to assist the SPG, because he is an SPG protectee, and execute the decision taken by, as per the Blue Book, as per the ASL. Now, if something went wrong somewhere, the role of the government is to conduct an inquiry, and the government is doing that. The Congress party gets into the picture when none other than the Prime Minister starts politicizing something as serious as his security. It's not his security, it's the Prime Minister's security. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody, including the Prime Minister, is allowed to politicize the PM's security. He did not politicize it on 22nd September 2017 in Varanasi, where he had to go through Lanka to Durga Kund, but the route had to be suddenly changed because of protesting girls. They were protesting against molestation. He did not say that Adityanath is plotting against me. Did he say that? He did not accuse Arvind Kejriwal of plotting against him in 2018 when his vehicles got stuck in the traffic jam in Paharganj, Delhi. Why this special treatment for Mr. Channi? Why this special treatment for the people of Punjab? These words will haunt our democracy. Thank your Chief Minister, मैं जिंदा आ गया हूँ Bhatinda Airport. I mean, this is the Prime Minister, for God's sake. How dare he politicizes something as critical as the Prime Minister's security? So the onus lies with the Prime Minister. Please do not reduce my country into a banana republic. We are not a banana republic. You're making a laughing stock of India across the world. For God's sake, every word uttered by the Prime Minister is taken seriously. And Rajdeep, before you give the mic to my colleague, Shehzad, remember in 2017 Gujarat election, the same Prime Minister accused a former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, former Army Chief, General Deepak Kapoor, of colluding with Pakistan and plotting against him. What happened after that? After that, Mr. Arun Jaitley had to regret and apologize in the parliament for these irresponsible statements. The Prime Minister of India should not resort to such irresponsible conduct or statements.
Let me take that to Shehzad Poonawala to respond, because Shehzad Poonawala, while the Congress will stand charged of downplaying the nature of the security breach, or the Congress government in Punjab, the BJP stands accused of politicizing it. The Prime Minister, as he is leaving Punjab, effectively seems to suggest that this was part of an attempt to target him. There are leaders of your party who are saying this was Congress's Khuni mindset. Now, this is a serious issue of national security. This is not a time to play petty politics. The Prime Minister and the BJP stand charged of politicizing it with one eye on the elections. Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister, today is in Uttarkashi, in Uttarakhand, virtually accusing the Congress government of plotting to kill the Prime Minister in the face of zero evidence.
Okay. Rajdeep, I heard you and Pawan both very patiently, and I hope that you'll give me equal amount of time and nobody will interrupt me. Let me address each of the points Pawanji raised. Firstly, Pawanji said role of the party and the role of the government are different. But sir, your dear Chief Minister called it Kudrati even before the investigation could start. So can we expect a free and fair probe when he's busy defending those who should be actually held accountable by calling it Kudrati? The Deputy Chief Minister said there's a prima facie lapse. The Chief Minister says it's Kudrati, and this is the state of their Punjab government. secondly, he said role of the party came only when BJP politicized it. Sir, at 2:30 odd, Srinivasan, Youth Congress president, who's very close to Rahul Gandhi, asked, how's the Josh? Is this serious politics? Is this the way you do khilwad with the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha and then do jashn about it? Mr. Sidhu said कि ये तो drama है. Mr. Nana Patole from Maharashtra goes ahead and says कि जो बोया था वो पाया है. This is the level of seriousness they attach to a matter of Rashtra and do Rajniti over it. Thirdly, Pawanji said about Gujarat and about Delhi, about other instances of Varanasi, etc. Pawanji is such an erudite person. I respect him so much. He's been a colleague of mine. Sir, पंजाब में जहां पे ये घटना हुई वो पाकिस्तान से 10 किलोमीटर दूर है, 12 किलोमीटर दूर है, एंड पाकिस्तान हैज अ लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ वेपन्स दैट दे कैन यूज सिटिंग इन पाकिस्तान टू टारगेट पीपल इन इंडिया. 20 minutes the prime minister's convoy was on that flyover at a very critical place. He was going to Husainiwala border. Pakistan has been doing drone drops, and unfortunately your government has been doing nothing about it, because those drones come, they drop tiffin bombs, they drop all kinds of ammunition and weaponry, and your government, in fact, instead of doing anything, also allowed the Ludhiana blast to happen. You've changed 3 DGPs in the last 3 months. We've seen the dogfight that has taken place over political appointments in the government between Mr. Sidhu. In fact, Mr. Sidhu, your party president has said that your home minister is virtually useless, and the home minister offered to resign, saying that मैं सिद्धू जी के चरणों पे रख देता हूं. This is the state of which of law and order you're talking about. Thirdly, sir, you keep saying कि ये प्रदर्शनकारी है, ये प्रदर्शनकारी है. I want to ask you, when the DGP cleared the route, once the DGP clears the route, and this is not what I am saying, state government is to be responsible for the sanitization, for the route, for also the overall protection of the Prime Minister, because proximate protection is given by SPG. 16 IPS officers and 16 DGPs and 27 IPS officers have written a letter today to President saying that the state government failed in all its responsibilities, and 2 major ones which were shown by India Today, Rajdeep's channel. One, that the route was leaked by the Punjab police to the so-called protesters. I don't call them protesters, they were paid agents of Congress party. Secondly, why was the chief minister, the DGP or the chief secretary, as is the protocol, not accompanying the Prime Minister, or not even willing to come on the phone? Channi ji says कि मैं COVID patient के touch में था, इसलिए मैं नहीं आ पाया. 1 second, Rajdeep, just 10 seconds more. But on that same time, Rajdeep ji, please check it. I will never lie on your show. At the same time, when Mr. Channi gave this excuse, he was doing interview with one channel. Then he did press conference without mask with several channel people there. And today also he is in public without mask meeting people. So he can go there, but he could not answer the call of the Prime Minister.
You raised several valid concerns, Mr. Poonawalla. Mr. Poonawalla, you raised several valid concerns, but you have not addressed my central question. This is the Prime Minister of the country. This is not for him to get onto social media and virtually incite his followers to suggest that he was on the verge of a possible assassination attempt. It is not for Union Minister to say this is a khuni khel. These are very serious charges. The world will laugh at us if we start making national security part of domestic partisan politics.
May I address? May I address this?
Yes,
please. May I address this? Who said that the Khuni Sajish was... Thank you, sir. Sir, the Khuni Sajish, you think Pakistan has a very nice Sajish for us, or they have very good intentions for us? When you make the Prime Minister sitting duck 10 kilometers away from the Pakistan border, you may go and hug Pakistani general, you may go and call Imran Khan Bhaijan, but for me, there is only Khuni Sajish that Pakistan does. Now, if Congress takes it personally, when I say it was a Khuni Sajish to make the Prime Minister sitting duck 10 kilometers away from the border, and Pawan Kheda takes a directed jibe at Pakistan to himself, that means he is showing that he is taking whatever we have said to Pakistan very personally. And that only Pawan can explain why he takes jibes we make at Pakistan so personally. That is his party's matter. But I want to ask you, Rajdeep ji, just give me to answer to 2 questions. Why was the route leaked? Why was the DGP giving sanction and go ahead when he could not control it? Where was the additional deployment? Why were the policemen drinking tea with these people rather than making them go away? And plus, there were 3 letters, internal letters. Sir, they keep saying there was no bheed at the Pradhan Mantri's rally. Let me show you one internal letter. One internal letter dated 2nd talks about a crowd of 1 lakh coming. This is their own internal letter by ADGP Law and Order to the DGP and to other officers saying 1 lakh crowd is coming. Please have adequate arrangements. Plus it might rain on 5th, so have an alternate route arrangement. And plus you have to make sure that these people don't come to Firozpur. These politically minded, charged people don't come to Firozpur. Why did you ignore your own inputs? Forget what BJP is saying. Forget Shehzad Poonawala. Forget
Okay,
Smriti Irani ji. Forget everyone. Your own inputs were there. What did you do?
Our correspondent
sipping
who was
tea
on
with
the
those
spot,
people who were plotting against the Prime Minister.
correspondent who was on the spot has said there were not more than 5,000 people at the rally. Weather was bad and there were few people. Let's stick to facts. However, Shehzad Poonawala raises important
No,
points.
Rajdeep.
Just a minute.
One second.
Just a minute
Rajdeep,
now. Mr. Poonawala, just a minute.
can make his own case.
No, the letter
Pawan can
has
make
gone
his
on
own
the
case.
second. I'm talking about the fifth.
No.
1 minute.
Rajdeep,
1 minute. Mr. Pawan Khera.
Yes, I'm talking about that. Rajdeep.
Mr. Pawan Khera,
Rajdeep, let me show you the proof.
Poonawala raises important...
You said 5,000 people were not there. I dismissed that.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala, you had your turn.
These are
on this
pictures of the
channel,
rally,
no more
sir.
cross talk.
Please.
Let Pawan Khera respond. You've had far more time than him. Let him respond now. Pawan Khera, quite simply, he raises two valid points. The role of the DGP, just a minute, sir, and the role of the Chief Minister, both of which are under question. The Chief Minister yesterday says at a public gathering that he did not accompany the Prime Minister because there were people in his close contact who had COVID positive. Therefore, he was isolating. He is giving interviews and I'm going to show you what he did today. Please see what he did with Ashok Singhal today and then I want you to respond. Is the Chief Minister being fully honest with his reasons for not accompanying the Prime Minister to Firozpur? Take a look.
गृह मंत्रालय ने नोटिस मांगा है।
बाहर दिखाओ।
गृह मंत्रालय ने
ये प्रदर्शनकारी मुझे रोकना चाहते हैं। रोको दिखाओ ये।
गृह मंत्रालय दिखाओ
दिखाते क्यों नहीं अब? ये देखो, ये प्रदर्शनकारी आए ना मुझे रोकने के लिए, तो मैं अब इनको मार दूं? अब मैं कहूं कि मुझे सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट है, ये सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट है, आप नीचे उतरो मेरे साथ एक मिनट। प्रदर्शन करना डेमोक्रेटिक राइट है इन लोगों का। अब ये कर्मचारी होंगे कोई ना कोई, क्योंकि बहुत नजदीक है कोड लगना, इलेक्शन कोड लगने वाला है। ये चाहते हैं कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा किसी तरह कुछ बातें बनवा ली जाए, तो आज ये इन्होंने मेरी गाड़ी को रोका है।
लेकिन अमरिंदर सिंह कह रहे हैं कि बिल्कुल नाकाम है, अब यूं है बर्खास्त कर देना चाहिए, राष्ट्रपति शासन लगा देना चाहिए। तो आप देख सकते हैं कि मुर्दाबाद के नारे लगाए जा रहे हैं, चन्नी मुर्दाबाद के नारे लगाए जा रहे हैं। यहाँ पे लोग इकट्ठा हैं, झंडे दिखाए जा रहे हैं CWP, और चन्नी साहब उनसे मिलने के लिए आए हैं। आप देख सकते हैं चन्नी साहब के खिलाफ नारे लगा रहे हैं, यहाँ रोकने की कोशिश की उनका काफिला, और चन्नी साहब खुद उतर करके यहाँ मिलने आए हैं।
So there you have your Chief Minister who yesterday says he cannot accompany the Prime Minister. Today with our journalist, meeting protesters unmasked. Let's be clear. We need Mr. Channi to come clean on his role as well. You respond now, Pawan Khera.
I think, Rajdeep, 24 hours before you asked this question, Mr. Channi came clean, unfortunately for you and for my colleague Shehzad Poonawala. Mr. Channi clearly enumerated the chronology that people close to him in his staff were found COVID positive. His office got in touch with the Prime Minister's office, informing them there are protocols to be followed because Prime Minister is an SPG protectee. On WhatsApp, they got a message back from the Prime Minister's office that you, like other chief ministers of neighboring states, can also join through video conferencing. He followed the protocol which every responsible leader should follow.
24 hours later, sir, he's on the road. 24 hours later, he's unmasked on the road. There will be question marks raised, both over his role and that of your DGP, who according to the Home Ministry was not even picking up the phone.
Mr. Sardesai, let me finish. Permit me to. May I?
Yes, please go ahead.
You want to interrupt, or you want to interrupt yourself and me again?
Please go ahead.
Thank you. The protocol to be followed for an SPG protectee is different. Mr. Channi is not COVID positive himself. He can meet people. But when it comes to the Prime Minister's security and health and well-being, I think Mr. Channi was absolutely correct in his conduct, in his office, reaching out to the Prime Minister's office, informing them and asking them for guidance. The Prime Minister's office guided him to join through a video conferencing. Where is the contradiction? Where do you find a problem in this entire
Number two,
formulation?
the role of your DGP. The role of the DGP, the interim DGP, who was allegedly not even picking up the phone.
I'm coming to that. Mr. Channi again responded to your question 24 hours before you asked the question in his press conference yesterday. I wish you had heard his press conference again before you started the show. He was very clear that the Home Minister Home Ministry sent a message to his office. They were in touch with each other. It's an incorrect thing to say. Number 3, now I come to what Mr. Shehzad Poonawala said. Kudrat is the weather. I don't know if your Urdu or Hindustani is as good as mine or as bad as mine, but Kudrat is weather. Kudrat में जो हुआ, weather ने जो परिवर्तन हुआ, तो उन्होंने हेलीकॉप्टर की जगह सड़क से जाना उचित समझा. The final call, Mr. Sardesai, of a SPG protectee for his route, for his minute-to-minute program is taken by the SPG full stop. Every other agency is there to assist the SPG, not to take a final call. So whoever took the final call about the route, wait, no, don't interrupt, because Shehzad had a smooth run for 2 minutes. So let me also say what I have to say. Why do you keep interrupting me? So
Rajdeep,
please let me. You have your question, you ask me.
Please be fair with the apportioning of time.
Wait. Let me finish, because you, Mr. Shehzad Poonawala,
you get equal time. You've already got more. Go ahead.
I will not interrupt you. Rajdeep, I want the assurance from you.
Yeah, go ahead, Pawan.
Mr. Shehzad raised several points, so let me counter each one of them. When Manmohan Singh ji was attacked as Prime Minister of India...
Rajdeep, I hope you will apportion equal time.
Shehzad, you will not intervene. Go ahead.
When Manmohan Singh ji was the Prime Minister and was attacked by a
Please
shoe...
switch off his mic. Go ahead.
When Dr. Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister was attacked by a shoe in Gujarat in 2009, did he say the Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is plotting against me and trying to assassinate me? Or thank you, Mr. Modi, मैं जिंदा वापस 7 रेस कोर्स आ गया, तब वो 7 रेस कोर्स कहलाता था. नहीं कहा ना उन्होंने. ये होती है तहजीब, ये होती है मर्यादा, ये होती है प्रधानमंत्री पद की गरिमा. Now these are the words which I'll repeat in every language so that they reach the Prime Minister of India. He is not Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of BJP. He is Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, the largest democracy, for God's sake. What is he doing with this democracy? My blood boils when I see these irresponsible statements being hurled on this country, and this world is watching us and making fun of us. Now, PM can go to Pakistan, because Pakistan is a favorite topic of Mr. Shehzad and his colleagues in his party and RSS. Prime Minister बिना बताए पाकिस्तान जाकर अपने आप को महसूस करते हैं. He feels safe in Pakistan, but in Punjab, भैया नहीं. यहाँ तो मुझे को खतरा हो गया. क्यों? आपको अपने ही देशवासियों से इतना खतरा है. And Rajdeep, my last point, you are in politics, not just ये फूलों की सेज नहीं होती, ये कांटों का ताज होता है. सुन लीजिए, बीच में नहीं, प्लीज. ये कांटों का ताज होता है, ये फूलों की सेज नहीं होती कि रोज तालियां मिलती रहे तो मैं प्रधानमंत्री और कोई प्रोटेस्ट कर ले.
You got equal time.
है यार. What is this? Don't let me finish.
Your final word, come on, Pawan, final word.
Time initially you opened the debate with him, Rajdeep.
Now this kind of childish talk of how much time I don't want. This is childish. Be serious about it. Let's keep politics serious. This is the Prime Minister's security at stake.
One-on-one debate.
Pawan Kheda, you've made your points.
Are you suggesting you won't give BJP time?
Yes, go ahead.
Protests.
Yeah.
Protests.
Can I make my point?
Of democracy.
Yeah.
We all face protests in our public life. Chief Minister Delhi Sheila Dikshit faced protests right outside her house. Manmohan Singh ji faced protest in JNU. Indira Gandhi faced protest in Varanasi, in Uttar Pradesh, when Narendra Tiwari was the chief minister. She met the protesters. Rajiv Gandhi, in front of my eyes in Udaipur, suddenly...
Okay, your time now, Pawan Kheda, is up. You've had 3 minutes uninterrupted time.
Why is the Prime Minister afraid of protests?
Okay,
Why can't he
Shehzad
engage with them? For God's sake, let them be sanitized by the security agencies and meet them.
No, Pawan, now you're trying to take away the time. Your time is up. Shehzad Poonawala, the bottom line at the end of the day, this is the Prime Minister of the country, this is his security, which should be above partisan politics. When it gets politicized, in the manner that in the last 24 hours the government has done, then questions will be raised. It happened in Gujarat. When Mr. Modi was Chief Minister of Gujarat, every now and then there's an attempt to assassinate the Chief Minister of Gujarat. There must be hard evidence when you make such serious charges against a state government. There's a 3-member committee of the Home Ministry. Why not wait for that report before making such serious charges? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Rajdeep, and I hope you'll give me equal time like you gave Pawan in his second going. In the first going, you gave him a lot of time. Now, let me make one by one all the points. First, Pawanji spoke about the right to protest. Pawanji, here is a picture of B.Ed teachers, and this was a story broken by India Today. उनके मुंह में चुन्नी डालकर उनको पुलिस ने मार कर चन्नी जी की रैली से भगा दिया. You can show a PR clip of Channi ji right now, but this is what he does to protesters. In fact, NDTV is also reported on this because you guys like to believe NDTV. NDTV's headline says, let me tell you, on camera violent crackdown on Punjab teachers at Chief Minister's rally. So Pawan should be the last person pontificating about the right to protest. There 72 days in Maharashtra, the ST workers are protesting. Rajdeep, you come from Maharashtra, the same state as I. Please tell Pawan Kheda what they have done to the ST workers. Stop pontificating about protesters. These were not protesters. Rajdeep,
go ahead.
Rajdeep, this is not done.
His audio has been come on now.
I will not surrender my right to speak.
Please speak.
I will not acquiesce my right to speak.
Please speak.
Rajdeep, let me complete.
Please answer my
Rajdeep,
question.
You asked two, three very
Please
valid
answer my question, which you are not answering. The politics which is being played. The Prime Minister should not get into politics over his security.
Rajdeep, double barrel nahi. वो बंद हो.
You're not answering my question. You've got to answer my question now.
Watching your show, you have to be fair to me also. I'm answering. He has asked 7 questions. Can I answer his also? He's the opposition. Should I not answer opposition question? Please, I respect my opposition. Let me answer them. I'll answer you also. Give me enough time. Now, what you have asked, that we politicized. Rajdeep ji, with humble folded hands, there is a video of SFJ, the Mr. Pannu, who is saying that I am the one who is behind this breach and I am threatening the Prime Minister that dare he come to Punjab. Is this not a national security concern? If we say this is a khuni sajish of Mr. Pannu, why is Mr. Pawan Kheda, whose Urdu is very good, why is Punjabi so bad that he is taking it so personally? Point number 3. Rajdeep, you made a very wrong claim that only 5,000 people were there in that rally. I will send you a video right now if you want of the number of people they were there. You can show it on your TV screen. I'll show you the picture of the rally. There were at least more than 15-20,000 people at bare minimum, even though the Prime Minister had not reached the venue. So imagine if that was the case before reaching the venue, the number of people, and even his own government, Mr. Pawan Kheda's government was saying 1 lakh people are expected. So please, let's not do this bidding for Congress Party. Congress Party can keep their own paksh. Pawan Kheda is a very competent spokesperson. Now, let me ask very specific questions of Mr. Pawan Kheda. One, Mr. Pawan Kheda, the blue book, you know the SPG blue book, the blue book of VIP protection, it says very clearly, proximate security is of the SPG, the overall security of the entire area, route clearance, sanctification of it. It has been written in a letter to the President by 16 IPS and 27 DGP. It is your responsibility. 10,000, aapne bola 10,000 people were on the ground. 10,000 people could not move away. 5,000, 3,000, 200, 400, whatever number of protesters. They were sipping tea with the protest, so-called protesters. They were allowing him to come on the route of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister का जो route होता है वो इस प्रकार से उसको भंग करने की इजाजत कहीं पर भी मिलती है. And he is talking about whatever in Gujarat or in any other place that Pawan Kheda is quoted. Please tell me, was there a national security threat of a terrorist group, or was it 10 kilometers away from the border of Pakistan where the Prime Minister of that in that place could have become a sitting target? Your Prime Minister, Pawan Kheda, is my Prime Minister. Your Prime Minister was virtually a sitting duck on that flyover for 20 minutes from a vantage point that Pakistan has. Don't you have any sense of Rashtra-niti above Rajniti? And if you still say that, no, we consider this to be a matter of Rashtra-niti, I challenge you, Pawan Kheda, what action will you take on Sidhu, who says it's a drama? What action will you take on Srinivasan ji, who says that it is now, will you take any action on them?
The tragedy is...
Now, can I respond, Rajdeep?
You have 30 seconds.
सबसे पहले बार-बार श्रीनिवास का नाम ले रहे हैं. श्रीनिवास ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से क्लैरिफाई कर दिया. His tweet was at 2:37 p.m. The news started breaking after 2:40 p.m. So please stop playing these petty games. Does not befit
so
you as a national spokesperson. Do not interrupt. Do not interrupt.
He knew
I
at
did not interrupt you. Do not interrupt. He was talking about the crowds, and you know
this is indicting Srinivasan.
Will you allow?
How did Srinivasan know at 2:37 what is happening to Prime Minister?
He is claiming that Srinivasan was talking about the crowds at the rally. But either way, I've given both of you enough time.
And Nana Patole and Sidhu.
He interrupted me. Give me 10 seconds more. Sorry, I have to make a point.
And Nana Patole and Sidhu, they to said it post facto.
I am worried
Nana
about my
Patole and
Prime
Sidhu said post facto, and
मैं
Congress
मेरे
की ये ठेकेदारी चली गई. Why should you get to make the last point? Congress party का कोई special privilege है राजदीप के शो में?
Okay,
मेरा भी last point. Rajdip,
let me leave you there. Unfortunately, spokespersons will continue to speak over each other, not on this channel. I appreciate both of you joining me. Thank you very much. You've both had enough and equal time.